Welcome back to Coach's Corner. It's time to talk Ponca City football, and really the Wildcats wrapping up their season this Friday against Sapulpa. A week of practice, and Coach, I know it's always sad to see the season come to an end, so much anticipation, but this will be an interesting week. How do you think it's going to go with your ball club? Is this group of players mature enough to go through a good week of practice?
Yes, yeah. Honestly, the last 2 years we've kind of been in situations where the last game was kind of tough. We weren't going to playoffs, and honestly, the last 2 years it hadn't been an issue, hadn't been a problem. And we've been okay. So, and this group I think is honestly better and more mature in a lot of those intangible areas. So, I think we'll be okay. There's going to be a lot of guys that, just like we had that big win versus Claremore a couple weeks ago with the last home game. I think the last game for so many guys, playing organized, truly their last organized football game, and not doing rec stuff, and maybe later on in college or something. But these guys, a lot of this is going to be their last meaningful football game. So I think our guys, a lot of the seniors, are going to be really will give great effort and do just fine.
Make no mistake, it's emotional, but whereas maybe it's not a cry emotional, it's almost more of a deer in the headlights, because with every second that ticks off the clock, that's one less second you're going to be playing high school football. So for a lot of those guys, as the game goes on, you might see a little bit more of that emotion come out.
Yes, I'm going to sell that. You're going to see that naturally, but I am going to, I'm going to talk about that just to make sure that our guys are tuned in, because we definitely want to win this last game for the program. But there is so much for the seniors. This has been one of the best senior groups that I have enjoyed in all of my career. Best that I've enjoyed so far here at Ponca, as far as guys that really just really bought in. We're good teammates to each other. We're good to coaches. We're very coachable, hard workers, all those intangibles. These guys had it. So, yeah, it's going to be emotional I guarantee it's going to be emotional for a lot of those guys. And you said it, as each tick comes on, especially when you get down to the third, fourth quarter, it'll be very interesting.
Emotional for the coaches, too.
Yeah, it'll be very emotional, these guys. It's, these guys were here, we kind of, right now, the way we got our program organized, varsity kind of starts in the 10th grade, not so much freshmen. And so when I first got hired, these guys were, this senior group was there from day one, as far as all 3 years. All they went through, sophomore through senior. So, I have a special place in my heart for these guys. These guys, again, I haven't had any problems with these guys. These guys have just been good to have and good to work with, and very coachable and hard workers. That's everything that's asked. So it's going to be an emotional.
Thank goodness for Coach Allen coming in, and I can remember, Coach, a few years ago we had 3 coaches in 3 years. Those kids that were sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they had 3 different coaches, 3 different formulas, three different programs to go through. They had to learn different offenses. So I'm sure you can speak to this not only as a player but as a coach, but it does make a big difference when you have that, not only a head coach stability, but that assistant coach stability, and we've got that now.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I've already, obviously we've kind of had a closing staff meeting, since we're not getting ready for playoffs a week from now. So, next weekend coaches can spend a little more time with their family, don't have to come up. So we did some closing staff meetings this past weekend, and it's just, again, going to year 3, looking at coaches and talking about in the season evaluations for both players and coaches and everybody. It's just going to be different. It's not going to take stuff's not going to take near as long. The guys, the coaches right now, and it's just we've grown as a group. We've grown as a coaching staff. You're exactly right, and continuity is how important it is. Listen, 2012, if we were as organized and as good as a coaching staff as we are now, we would have, we could have done some more things that season, but we just didn't have that continuity at the time. So continuity, to answer your question, with the coaching staff, and that goes a long ways.
Coach, 42-21 loss to Bartlesville last week. The Bruins, an awful lot to play for, and I don't care what anybody says, I think it makes a big difference when you got that carrot hanging out there. And Bartlesville knew if they beat us, they probably are going to make the state playoffs. So they played motivated on Friday.
No, they were well focused, well motivated, well coached team. they present so many challenges on the offensive side of the ball, and they had a good plan on the defensive side of the ball too. Phil, when you make 3 to 5 key mistakes on both sides of the ball, that's about what it came down to. And that's it, because 90% of the other plays we really executed well, or we executed okay. And you take away those 3 to 5 mistakes, you just can't have them in a big game like that. And we had 2 blown coverages that had nothing to do with physical. A guy making a big play. Just the guys literally, we made a mistake. Mentally on a coverage and on two plays, and we had a personal foul one time, and that's usually not like us. We usually don't do that stuff, and we had a little post play action that kept a drive going, and obviously, you could say, we shouldn't have allowed a big play right before half on the prevent defense. That didn't need to happen. So you take that down to pick six. We have 2 fourth and shorts that killed us on 2 drives, and a pick six, on the offensive side. So you take those things out of it, meaning the fourth and shorts. We looking on film, it's just a small thing that kept us from getting those, and the pick six was really negated. Really just kind of dented a great night throwing that Connor Larson had. Connor Larson only had, I think, 14 for 17 was his stats for 213 yards, 1 touchdown already, and then that 1 key interception, but it hurt us. So, we just got to learn going into next season. We just got to cut some of those big mistakes and big games out. And, we're right there. You take those things out there, we're right there in that football game.
How fun was it to see senior Andrew Neeson, a kid who hadn't caught a lot of varsity passes over his career, hadn't played a lot of varsity minutes, but over the last 4 or 5 games he started, and if you listened to the game or you were at the game, he literally came out of nowhere to make a touchdown catch and ran down the field untouched, and it had to make you feel pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. Andrew Neeson, he's been a program guy, a guy that's been there since day one, worked hard. Bought his time, didn't get a lot of varsity playing time, obviously last year or his sophomore year. So, he's one of those guys, senior year, gets to play a little, quite a bit in some 6A varsity football. And then, so you're right, not a lot of catches throughout his career or even this season, just a few here and there. Makes a big play like that. And, man, I felt really good for him.
Absolutely. It was a great play. It got us kind of back into the ball game there at one point. Bartlesville gets the victory. Coach, what do you look for from Sapulpa, a wounded program? Obviously, I was talking on the radio today that, we won 2 more games than we did last year with a chance to win 3. Our program, although the wins aren't where we want them to be, the program pretty much probably is. Sapulpa fired their coach last week. They've won 1 game. They haven't won a district game. What do you think their mindset's going to be?
It's a little, it's when it's a Week 10 game, it's always a little nerve-wracking as far as, everybody's going to have a last hurrah effort. Meaning you almost would rather catch a team like that's in this situation almost Week 9. Week 10, everybody, even if it is in disarray or something like that, you still get guys saying it's the last game of the year, let's give it all type mentality. So I'm going to approach the team as, hey guys, they're going to be ready to play. It's their last hurrah. We did it. I mean, heck, we played Union last couple, and I know the mentality of our guys. Now, obviously, we lost to Union, but we were ready to go, and the guys were giving great effort. So I'm worried about, Sapulpa's, going to be ready to give good effort just because it's maybe the last game of the season type thing. But no, they're you never know. Obviously, there's issues there. Hopefully, we can get up on them and see what their sports psychology is at that point in time. If we can know if they're going to keep playing or not. That's something that Sapulpa will probably have to deal with. But I'm going to expect Sapulpa to be ready to go on the kickoff, ready to give their best effort. And what's one thing you saw in film, we got Sapulpa's film this year throughout the season, and they have gotten better every single week. Every single week they've gotten better. So they're a different team in the fact that they're better than they were, 3 or 4 weeks ago. They've gotten better as far as O-line play, running back play. Now, I don't know what the coach, the head coach, gosh, being fired. I don't know what that's going to do to the momentum that they had. Obviously, Claremore, it didn't help out last week. Something went wrong there for them, but we'll take them very seriously. This is we want to get this win. Obviously, we're at a point we can't overlook anybody, so we'll prepare hard. And I think our guys, having that last game mentality too, will play really hard too. So I think we'll be ready to go.
7 o'clock on Friday night, the Wildcats at Collins Field in Sapulpa for the season finale. We hope you'll make the ball game and support the Wildcats. For Coach Allen, I'm Phil Turney. Have a great week.